and it's getting worse. We can now see that the DUP are really feeling the pressure. You can tell from the body language and the words that are coming out of them that they feel that they have been let down by the Secretary of State. They're very much saying that he voted along with everybody else for the protocol that has brought down these institutions, and they are not going to get back up with the DUP at any one time unless the protocol is fixed. So it does seem that the Secretary of State is putting pressure right on the DUP and trying to push that, as he sees that as the weakest link to getting them back. That does not bode well for any standing up to the EU. On the other side of that argument, the nationalists are saying, well, we had a mandate, we got back, we want to take this. But Sinn Féin, of course, are set to be the largest party in the Republic of Ireland, and they need that protocol to protect the Republic of Ireland's economy. They cannot be seen as one thing in one place and something else in another. So this is a very, very tricky point for both Sinn Féin and the DUP. But the body language and mood music here is very, very bad indeed. We will be looking at elections mid-December. What they actually bring back, nobody knows, because Sinn Féin will turn this into a border poll, and nationalists will vote that direction, and the DUP will very much turn it into stay inside the UK, and even unionists with a small u will vote their direction. That will squeeze the middle ground of the SDLP and the Ulster Unionist Party. Right. We don't know where the Alliance will go in that vote. The Alliance could come back as the second biggest party. It may actually be trashed altogether. It's where those transfer of votes go, because we vote here under a PR system, which always delivers a very mixed government. So if that happens in mid-December and we come back with the Sinn Féin and the DUP, well, then we'll still be looking at a stalemate. The protocol's still not fixed, and all we've happened is it has been even more divisive. And what goes into that vacuum during that time could be frightening.
Dougie, we're still seeing Stormont in action to a degree, one ought to say. The MLAs are discussing the matters. Jeffrey Donaldson has said that his party members can go in and talk, but the executive members, the cabinet members, are not taking their seats, their positions. So basically no decisions can be made. The Speaker, as I understand, has not been voted. So effectively whatever is voted won't apply. So again, it's like a sort of limbo. Tell us what happens next. They've got till midnight tonight to try and get something together. Or Chris Heaton-Harris, the Northern Ireland Secretary, has said these elections will go into train.
Well, Northern Ireland's Assembly is very unique. It is built up of cross-community consent. So they all get elected back to the House, which is the Assembly here. Then a Speaker is elected, and then business can go on with the committees. That's the second part of this. And of course, then you have the executive themselves, and they are ministers that are into a forced coalition round a table, and those ministers are selected by how many MLAs they got back into the institution behind us. So Sinn Féin would be the largest, followed by the DUP, then the Alliance, and so on until it comes down the road. Those ministers look after departments in there. So you have the Communities Minister, Health Minister, etc., and they all have to agree the way forward. That's then inspected by the committees. That's how everything keeps together, and it all must be cross-party. Well, the biggest problem here is, of course, that none of the unionists support the protocol. So that has driven a horse and cart straight through the Good Friday Agreement, of which the foundation of this very institution is built upon, because it says that everything is on consent. It also says, and two clear statements at the start of those negotiations, I remember it well, was the John Major and the Irish Taoiseach had to sign an agreement that said that both parties no longer had a strategic, financial or selfish interest in Northern Ireland. And of course that has now changed, because the EU want to protect their single market. So Ireland is no longer a neutral in this. There's no longer a Secretary of State in Britain bringing in the Irish Foreign Affairs Minister and then bringing in the United States, because of course the United States have already made it very clear they're not neutral in this. So that perfect storm or perfect position that was back in 1998 isn't there anymore. That was a once in a lifetime position where everybody could get together and negotiate the Good Friday Agreement. Right. And it is not looking well at all.
Yeah, Dougie, thank you for